Hello world, Andy McGovern here, and I'm going to take you through one of the features of Irwin Data Modeler 2020 R2. Actually, this is part of all of the data modeling releases, and we're going to take a look at Complete Compare. Now, Complete Compare is what I like to refer to as the middle part of our round trip. The first part is reverse engineering. The middle is Complete Compare, and then ultimately we have forward engineering. So that's what we consider to be our native support and full round tripping. What I'm going to be doing today is to supplement the information that's contained in the help file. So I would point you to our online help or your local help for further information with regards to Complete Compare. What we're going to do is we're going to look at a physical data model, and then we're going to look at how we can compare that to the actual database. And then we're going to take a look at how we can use Complete Compare to build a model from scratch. So these are the steps that we're going to be going through. And I'm also going to show you some other features as we go along. So let's take a look. All right, so to start off, I have a very basic data model. This is a logical physical data model. I haven't applied any templates or anything to make it look fancy because we're just going to be focusing specifically on the comparison features that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this physical model and I'm going to make some changes to it. And then we're going to compare it to the physical database and implement those changes. To start off, we're going to work with the employee table, and we'll zoom in on that. And in the employee table, I'm going to make some changes to the columns. I'm going to delete a column, I'm going to modify a column, and then I'm going to add a column. I'm going to delete the middle initial column. I'm going to modify the last name column to from varchar 30 to varchar 40, and then I'm going to add a column called cert. And then I'm also going to add a table in here just as an example to show how we can leverage what we call our known differences in the Complete Compare. And this is going to be designated as a known difference. We added a table, we modified the employee table, deleted a column, modified a column, and added a column. Now we're going to compare this to the physical database. Complete Compare is under the Actions tab. The left model is going to be the model that we just marked up or changed, model 2. The right model is going to be built temporarily based on reverse engineering the physical database itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly walk through and do reverse engineer of the same database so that we can compare them. We look at the type selection. We can see that we will be making these comparisons at the database level. We're also going to take the default speed option set. This was added in 2020 R2 to facilitate and speed up your Complete Compare act. And now we're simply going to compare the two models. And what we're going to see is the resolve differences screen, and this is going to show us the differences between the models, and then we can rectify as required. All right, so here we see all of the differences between the two models. The hashes indicate a missing object. The left model, or the middle model at this point, is what we've set as our standard, and then model 4 is what's actually happening in the database. Now, since this is being a comparison at the physical level, any changes that we make to model 4 will be tracked, and we can generate the alter script as applicable. Before we proceed with resolving any of these differences, you can run a report either through the internet browser, a document, or an Excel spreadsheet. And here we can see all of the differences, the objects that are missing from either model. Now, I added this table, this demo table, to illustrate how we can show and mark a known difference between our models. This is going to be important as these models evolve, and you may not be the same person working on the model in the future. So if we wanted to designate the demo table as a known difference that's in our model that would not be implemented in the database, we can simply select at the highest level, at the table level here, and then we'll also do this for the index. But right here, what we're going to do is we're going to mark this as a known difference. And then that goes away from our comparison chart, and that's what we're expecting. We're going to do the same thing with the index here. And we're going to mark this as a known difference. So now we're back to the 3 changes that we made the employee table, and then the known differences with the demo table have been added to the model. And the way we do that is first by setting up those known differences within here, and then we can save this as a snapshot. Now this snapshot is going to be retained with model 2. So the next time we do a complete compare, we can simply invoke the known differences snapshot to hide any of the differences that we don't necessarily care about. And we're going to take a look at that after we finish the reconciliation here. What we're going to do is we're going to implement the changes that we've made in our standard model, which is model 2, into the model 4, and then use that to forward engineer the changes. So in order to do this, you simply go through each particular row and then move them from the middle model to the right model. So here we can see that the cert column has been added. The employee last name columns are unequal, as we can see, and the middle initial is missing from my model, but it exists in the database today. So we're going to add the cert column. We simply move that over to the right. We're going to change the employee last name to be increased from varchar 30 to varchar 40. And then the employee middle initial, we remove that for reconciliation or demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to move that back into the model. So we've changed the physical model, model 4, and therefore we have the associated alter script. Now you can walk through the full alter script wizard, but we're going to focus specifically on the preview of the DDL that's been generated. So we can see, because of the changes that we made with the middle initial there, we're going to reincorporate that. So we're going to drop the index, we're going to add the cert column, we're going to alter the last name column, and we're going to regenerate the index. Now at this point, I can generate and implement these changes directly into the database itself, or I can save these off as a DLL so that I can run them at a later time. I can actually edit this information also within this particular wizard. So that's how we can use complete compare in respect with a model, an existing model of an existing physical database, then compare it to the physical database and implement the change. Now to come back to the snapshot that we created for this particular model, that's going to live here in the actions and then manage snapshot. So we have that known difference snapshot that's set in here, and the next time I invoke complete compare, I can load this snapshot of the known differences, and that will hide differences that I should not be concerned with. And now let's take a quick look at how we can leverage complete compare to create a new model based on objects that may exist in an existing model. So to do that, I'm going to create a new model here, a logical physical model. We'll use SQL Server as our target. And now here's the blank model, and then we want to incorporate information from model 2 into model 5, but not everything. So we'll just do a quick complete compare. The left model is model 2, the right model will be model, and then we'll make a comparison. So once again, we're going to see the differences between the two, but since this is a blank model, there's nothing in there. So we can literally go through and start adding tables to this particular model. So for example, we want to bring in the auth table, the book order table, and I'll take another one randomly from down here, bring in the customer table. So now we've just brought some tables over into our model. They don't show up automatically. What we're going to do is we're going to go into properties, and we can see them as they're set up here. We're going to set the settings for the diagram to automatically populate from the model. And then our objects and our tables come into here, and then we can go to the diagram and lay them out as we would like to see that. So that's some of the functionality that we can do with complete compare. They're the most common use cases that we see. So I encourage you to try this out on your own systems. And if you do have any further questions or issues, please go to the help area. And if you just type in complete compare, it'll bring you right into the appropriate help component. So thank you very much for your time. Happy modeling, and have a great day.